Hi boys and girls, this video is intended to go over our first 6th grade lesson. It's grayed out right now because it's scheduled to start tomorrow and I'm recording this on a Sunday. So you're going to see on my screen it's going to look a little bit different than yours, okay? Before you start and click on your grade 6 lesson 1, I want you guys to make sure, I sent a remind, make sure that you have downloaded Kami. Otherwise, clicking here step by step, this is the video that shows you how to download Kami and how to use it, and then these are the actual instructions, okay? So when you watch this video, then you're good to go. Just make sure that you download it and that you have this blue oh, why is it blurry? The blue K, the blue circle with the white K in the middle. That means that you have Kami installed, okay? Now, let's go into our first lesson. When you come in here, it'll not be grayed out for you. You're gonna click on the PDF, and you wanna make sure that you open it with Kami, not as a PDF, because otherwise you won't be able to write inside the text. Okay, open with Kami. And then you've got your working document, okay? The Kami is intended to make it a working document where it's more, instead of handwriting it, obviously on a sheet of paper and scanning it and submitting it, you can just do it all electronically. You can submit it to me and I'll see all of your answers, okay? Now, the first lesson is compare fractions and decimals. What we're doing here is taking, for example, this word problem, and Esteban's phone weighed 4.7 ounces, Jill's phone weighed 4 3/5 ounces, and Mona's phone weighed 4.35 ounces. Who has a phone with the lightest weight? Now, how are we to compare these three numbers when you have two decimals and a fraction? I want to show you the easiest way to do it. In my opinion, you can use, they have the number line 4. You can use the number line. It's more of a visual for you, where you can see, like, obviously the closer you are to the 4, the smaller or the lighter the phone is. The further to the right you go, you are increasing in value. However, you're not always going to have a number line. So I want to make sure that I show you the actual computation and the arithmetic behind it so you can solve this without a number line. So the first thing I teach is it's easier to convert the fractions into decimals. So we're going to take the only fraction we have in this word problem, which is 4 3/5, and turn it into a decimal. And here's how you do it. Okay, I'm going to get the whiteboard. Ooh, I was testing it out and I forgot to erase it. Let's clear the page. Sorry about that. All right, so we have 4 3/5 is our fraction, okay? Now, the whole number stays the same. What we're changing into a fraction, a decimal, is the actual fraction part of it, not the whole number. Now, I think it was chapter 5 or chapter 6, we went over how to interpret a fraction as a division problem, okay? So we can say here that it's 3 divided by 5. So we're going to rewrite this and put 3 divided by 5. Now this is the lesson where we have to add a decimal and zeros in the dividend because 5 cannot go into 3. Okay, so we're going to add a decimal, let's pretend it's a decimal, put a 0. Okay, since 5 can't go into 3, we'll put a 0, bring our decimal up, and then we'll think to ourselves, okay, 5 can go into 30 6 times. Okay, and that's your decimal. So now we go back to the whole number. We're going to take that whole number and combine it with 6/10. So you'll have 4.6 as a decimal, and this is the new, not the new number, but the decimal form of 4 3/5. So when we come back to our 6th grade lesson, to answer the question, we would say that, well, compare them. You have 4.7, 4 3/5 became 4.6, and this one became 4.35. Now, let's rewrite these decimals. We had 4.6, 4.7, and 4.35. Okay? Let me exit out here. I don't know why these pop-ups keep coming up. Okay? Now, to properly compare the decimals, remember that we have gone over this previously. The best thing you can do is line up your whole numbers, line up your decimals, the digits in the tens place, and then you have the hundreds. There are no digits for these two in the hundreds, but you can go ahead and fill them in with zeros, okay? So that way you have even amounts of place values. You can go ahead and compare. Obviously, we can tell that 4.35 is a decimal with the smallest value. And to answer the question, who has the phone with the lightest weight? It would have to be Mona. Let's do another example. Try this. Okay, compare 1/5, 5/8, and 2/10. Which number has the greatest value? Obviously, looking at the number line, you can tell right away which one has the greatest value, but let's practice that arithmetic one more time. Let's erase everything, clear your page, get rid of this add. All right, the numbers were 1/5 and 5/8. So we already have 0.2 as a decimal. Okay, now we're gonna convert, oh, I forgot the numbers. 1/5 and 5/8, okay. So we're gonna convert 1/5 and 5/8. Let me write them down before I forget again. So let's divide 1/5. This is 1 divided by 5. Okay, 5 cannot go into 1, so we'll put our decimal, add the 0, bring up the decimal. 5 cannot go into 1, again, so put the 0, and that's going to be 2. Because 5 can go into 10 2 times. So 1/5 is equal to 2/10, which is the same as another number there. 5/8, let's do the division. 5 divided by 8. Okay, let's move it up. All right, so 8 can't go into 5, but we'll put our decimals. Okay, and that's going to be 6. 48, subtract. We have 2 left over. So remember when we went over this, you can add a 0 to continue dividing in the dividend. Bring it down. 8 can go into 20 2 times, and that's going to give us 16. We'll have 4 left over. I can put another 0 again to finish division. To finish my division. And finally, 5, okay? So 5/8 is equal to 625 thousandths, but we can technically take this decimal and round it to the nearest tenths or hundredths, depending on the numbers that we have in the word problem. So you only really need one place value, because notice how this is 2/10. So we don't really need to have 3 digits after the decimal, because in the problem they only have one place value. So we'll stick to this here, 0.6. We don't need this extra number, the extra numbers. Okay, so we have 0. I'm sorry guys, this is new to me. We have 0.6 as one decimal, 0.2, and another 0.2. So they wanted the decimal or the number with the greatest value. Okay, and here we have it. 6/10 is greater than 2/10. Let's go back here. Okay, so the greatest number is 6/10. Why? Because it's getting closer to being a whole number. Even in the number line, you can see 5/8 goes over. This is closer to being 1. And that's pretty much it. The rest is for you to complete on your own. The share and show and the on your own, and it's 7 questions. What you're gonna have to do here is the same thing that I did explaining it to you previously. So you've got 4 tenths, 3/4, and 15/100ths. So what you're gonna do is remember the easiest way is to convert the fraction into a decimal. Okay, you can convert the decimals into fractions. I just think that it requires a little bit more work because you would have to find a common denominator after you've converted them into fractions. So it's just easier to have decimals. Here, same thing, you're gonna have to convert these two mixed numbers into decimals. So you can compare it to 2 and 45/100ths. And that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, tomorrow we have a Google Meet at 11, so I can review those questions again if you're still confused. I just can't make this video too long, otherwise it gives an error when I try to upload it on YouTube. It probably asks me to separate it or whatnot. Okay guys, have a great day.